If there's one thing we've been missing in this season of Black Lightning, it's good, spot on, choreographed action. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMIxer here to give you guys my review on this week's episode of Black Lightning as they dealt with the aftermath of learning that Jin has now transformed into a different person. But we'll get into that here in a minute. I just first want to say how I enjoyed this episode and the fact that it gave us some really good spot-on action, and not just one, but a good number of actions everywhere. And we've been kind of missing that here ever since this new season's began. I mean, yeah, we've seen like thunder, lightning, and all of them show up here and there, and then the whole gang battles and stuff, but never some really good on one-on-one action is basically what I'm saying. I mean, there was also the fist fight there, but I hope you guys all know what I'm trying to say here. Not as much as the good action that we usually get, especially this episode. It felt different compared to some of the action we've seen in other episodes. This one just really got to me. I think it's maybe because Black Lightning was officially back in action and into his vigilante thing, the team up he had with his daughter, and then of course the debut of a famous DC villain or mercenary, really, but he's a villain in this one, and we'll get to him as well, and so much more to talk about. But nevertheless, guys, what an episode. Great stuff all around. I can't wait to see what comes in the next episode, which, by the way, they actually did a promo for that. And we know it's going to deal with Grayson and Issa being away, but they're going to run into Painkiller. And this, which is no doubt, that is to help us jumpstart that spin-off series that they talked about, the Painkiller series. So I definitely cannot wait for that and see exactly what Painkiller's been up to ever since he left in season 3. So this will definitely be interesting on that end. But now, having said all that, is there anything else I want to say in the overall of this episode? Oh wait, now I remember. Now I remember. Sorry, guys. It just needed to come back to me. Now, usually you guys know I do recap videos of stuff like this, but I never got a chance to finish it up before this new season came out. Luckily, though, with this next episode coming out in April 12th, this will give me time to finish it up and by then make that video so I can help you guys get a recap on season 3 to better understand what's been going on in the first six or seven episodes of Black Lightning. But now, having said all that, we gotta now go ahead and break this all down here. And as I said, guys, this episode was filled with crazy action all around, and it was enjoyable to see. But before that, why don't I just talk about some of the small plots we got in this episode? For one, like, as we know, Tobias Well wants Lynn to work for him, and what we found out was that what he wanted to do was to help her lawyer Val with her ALS disease. And for the first time ever since then, we finally get to that with Val actually being there to meet up with Lynn later on as she's checking Jen. And don't worry, there's a little connection into that going into Tobias Well here as well, as he finds out about Jen's new identity after Val had just been there, because she was able to kind of suspected, and well, Tobias all put that together. But it's not only that, we also found out that Lynn has learned that Val is a metahuman. But what kind of metahuman is she? We don't know yet, and right now Jefferson is thinking, since they need to know what her powers are, that he's actually asking Lynn to use the meta boosters, even though Lynn is saying no, and she's kind of trying to accuse Jeff of saying, you only care more about catching Tobias than my own addiction. Like, she's still trying to fight it and stuff, but she still feels like it's an addiction and everything, and she's trying to fight it. Now, I can get what she's saying there, but I also get Jefferson's point there. He wants them to find this out and stuff. And yes, he does want to stop Tobias, but he's not saying Lynn do that because yeah, he cares more about catching Tobias. He knows that this time it's a good cause, and if you do take it this time, he seems to really be back on track to where he's actually going to help the family even more now than when he didn't really help them at the beginning of this season. So I do kind of understand both sides and stuff, but I do hope Lynn does do it. And if not, I hope there's another way to find out, because right now, when it comes to Tobias, it's tricky to know what to do with them. And right now, that seems like the best bet. But we'll see what goes down in that end. But speaking of Tobias, well, he has made the announcement he's going to run for mayor, which in all honesty, I am not surprised by that whatsoever, because, hey, he killed the mayor. He staged everything so he could kill the mayor. So why else would he kill him but then to go run for president? Makes perfect sense there to me. And since he has said that he plans on taking everything Jefferson loves away, him becoming mayor, and then finally doing the first thing he tried to do by getting Garfield High to be destroyed or something like that, I can see him already doing that should he win the election for mayor, which I do sense he will, because heck, like I've said before, this guy's pretty much the kingpin of Black Lightning's area, so no surprise on that end. And then, of course, there's also in the fact that now, Lala's out of the picture for now. But I'll explain more of that later, because that's more of a big plot right there. The other small plot we had here was still Gamby working with his ex-lover on a device they were working on. I still don't fully understand what that device is, so I'm not going to explain too much on it, other than the fact that they're going to use a source material that's being used on those DEG weapons that are used to fight metas, which, by the way, they've just been announced to the public to be given to the Freeland Police Department to take on metas. And if you haven't know how effective they are, check this out.
In the headlines and generations of supremacy resulting in your ignorant, privileged, breathe the same, but still see the same.
So yeah, they are a pretty big thing to worry about. But considering how the power has been like lowered down thanks to Gamby's interference, it isn't causing them that much trouble, but it is still a bit of a challenge for Jefferson to fight them with those things. But nevertheless, though, the source material of where that power comes from seems to be some sort of diamonds, and they plan to use that on that new machine Peter's working with his ex-lover on right there. But now, having said all that, let's go ahead and talk first off with this new villain we got who helped Destiny finally take out Lala and supposedly might have killed him. Ladies and gentlemen, meet...
Time to die. Call me Ishmael.
That's right, guys. Ishmael from the recent Batman and the Outsider comics. This guy has now made his live-action debut. Oh, and guys, what a debut he made there. Showing up like that, becoming the new hitman for Destiny, and blocking all of Lala's gunshots. And then next thing you know, another thing happened. Seriously, guys, that was some good action right there as Lala went face to face with him, close combat style. I gotta say, it's been so long since we've seen some really good one-on-one choreographs from Black Lightning that I was just dying of joy of seeing all this. It was just so cool. But then, of course, knowing that he can't die, which I think we all know the reason he can't die is because of the source of all the people he died. Why he's called Tattoo Man. Because I think for all the lives he took, if he dies, one of those lives takes it, blocks him from losing his actual life. At least that's my guess on it. But since they knew that he couldn't die, Destiny instead came up with an even more better, clever idea, might I add. Yeah, she decided, if I can't kill you, why don't I put you in some cement where you'll keep coming back, but then you'll keep dying by suffocating through that cement. And I gotta say, seeing that sculpture they showed of it right there, I love that. That was cool. That was very cool. But it's nice to know that we have not seen the last of Ishmael, because it turns out that he's actually been on a little resume of sorts. Well, more like requirements of sorts, because he's trying to join the League of Assassins, which was mentioned here in this episode. So, but considering how this is supposed to be part of the Arrowverse, I'm a little weird on that, but I'm not going to go into detail on that. Other than the fact to know this: Ishmael is needing a requirement to kill 100 metas to be a part of the League of Assassins. Right now, he's already killed 93. Well, Destiny has convinced him to stay so he can kill a few more, and that's the Pierce family. So that means we'll be seeing Ishmael going up against Black Lightning and the Pierce family here later on down the line. This promises to be very interesting. And I do mean very interesting. And now let's go into, first off, or better yet, let's just not waste time. We got to talk about Jin's new appearance. And yeah, she did not handle it well at first and stuff. Which, could you blame her? I mean, you find out that you become particle energy, you finally get yourself back, but then you come out like that. I think it'd take a while for someone to process it. But the family pretty much adjusted to it quickly. Well, more quickly than Jefferson. And I gotta say, Jeff, I was like, oh, come on, Jeff. I mean, I know she's got a new appearance, but she's still your daughter, man. Come on. But hey, we all gotta sometimes deal with things in our own way, because sometimes a lot can happen that it's hard to process it all in just that instant like that. But nevertheless, though, it was nice to see some good family bondingness over this new appearance of Jennifer. Like, for one, Grace helped her to realize that there's nothing wrong with the new appearance. And what better advice to take than from a shapeshifter like her, who changes in all sorts of different people, to help her better be okay with this new form. And then, of course, she had a little sister time with her and her sister Anissa, which you gotta say, always love the sister moments we have between these two, because it's like, even though like there's all this family drama going on, you can really see the pure joyness between these siblings. And that's usually how it goes with siblings. Your old parents and things can get a headache and the stuff, that you're always going to your siblings, because they can help you out, even if they may be against it or may not be against you on whatever it is you're trying to do. And then, of course, at first she decided she wasn't going to go out doing her whole lightning thing anymore. I think that's because the whole ionosphere kind of scared her and stuff. But TC once decided to show her that she's lately been inspiring a lot of people. So Lightning's been pretty much getting a rep for inspiring a lot of people, just like Black Lightning has. But the only difference is, for her, it's more with the younger kids, whereas with Black Lightning, it's more with the adults and stuff. Because one thing you got to know with Lightning and Black Lightning is that Black Lightning's more experienced, and it does its best not to cause too much collateral damage or problems for people like the police or the property damage and stuff. Whereas Lightning is kind of still learning that, but it's kind of having trouble learning how to mind her surroundings, as it were. But even still, though, I hope later on down the line she does kind of work on that, because in the end, we still got to see a father-daughter time and a father-daughter team up, and I gotta say, it was good to watch. Check this out yourself.
On your left.
Yeah, I liked it. And it was also great that they also showed this one scene here of Black Lightning saving a young couple from the police, because, as I said, the new chief of police, with her strong vendetta against MetaHuman, has declared war on them, that she has now put out a no-knock warranty on these people, on people's houses, just in case like they might be metas and stuff. And I'm just like, what? This woman's gone crazy. And oh, by the way, how he learned this is from Hassan, the one who's now taken over for Bill Henderson, with working with him. Kind of like how Batman works with Jim Gordon there. And yeah, if you guys don't know, Black Lightning and Batman, they have a lot more in common than some people might give them credit for. And they're a lot more similar than people might give them credit for. But I'm sure some true comic fans already know that, if you really think about it. But nevertheless, though, it was also talking with him that he now learned of the magnetic powers of the metahuman that works with Tobias Whale, which is kind of why he wanted Lynn to do that. He wants to find out if Val is that metahuman, but no, it's not her. It's the Victor Zsasz guy. But that all aside, though, it was still good for Black Lightning to finally be in the picture, that they even showed this.
Tired of pulling triggers on innocent lives because that's how we got here in the first place. Sink deeper than the bullet your entitled
Thank you,
hands
Black
could ever
Lightning.
reach. Generations and
Glad to have you
generations
back.
And yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's great to have him back as Black Lightning, because if we were going to go the full 6 episodes without him being the actual Black Lightning, I would have been like, oh, come on, Jeff, don't you think you've done it? You've gone on with this long enough. Just like get back to yourself as Black Lightning. But nevertheless, guys, that was pretty much the episode. And guys, as I said, what an episode. Great episode. I couldn't have been more excited, more pumped with all the action we got here from left and right, with the debut of Ishmael, with Black Lightning being back in town, his new working relationship with Han's son to replace Bill Anderson, and the whole bonding moment between Jen and all her family right there. Beautiful stuff. Oh, one more thing I forgot. Grayson and Nissa are now going to go on their honeymoon, which is going to lead them into meeting Painkiller. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I don't think I mentioned that Grayson and Nissa going on their honeymoon is how they're going to meet them. But that'll be all for today, guys. And hey, you enjoy my videos? All you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMIxer signing out. Bye!